after high school, what was that experience like going to law school, starting to learn about everything you wanted to do since a little kid? Just walk us through the law school, um, that what it was like for you.
Okay. So before I got to law school, got to go through college first.
Oh, so it's
So
different. It's not the same.
yeah, so I went to Michigan State University. I was in James Madison College. I double majored in political theory, constitutional democracy, and social relations and policy. Those were my two double majors in James Madison, which is known as one of the most difficult colleges in the United States. So they breed FBI agents, they breed judges, lawyers, CIA agents, NSA agents. They breed some of the best out of all the United States. They've bred Supreme Court justice, Michigan Supreme Court justice, United States Supreme Court justice. So to go into James Madison College was difficult to get in. They only accept about 300, at least at the time I went there, they only accepted about 300 students a year from all over the world, not just the United States, not just Michigan, but from all over the world. So I was one of the individuals to get accepted there. College was not easy, man. I will never talk down about my school that I went to. As you said, we went to Pontiac Northern, but I was not adequately prepared to do the things that they required me to do, especially in the area of math. I was not prepared in math. So I really needed to brush up on my math. I was put in remedial math. I had to take several remedial math classes. I continued to just work and work and work my way through college, man. One of the things that also didn't make it easy for me when I was in college is that my freshman year, I had my first child. So I had my first child when I was a freshman in college. So I really had to work hard. So I was taking between 12 to 16 credit hours every semester. I went fall, summer, spring. I never took any time off. Ended up graduating early from James Madison College because I never took time off. And then I worked two jobs at the same time. So I was working at Applebee's. I was working at the state legislature as a legislative aide. I was an intern for Speaker of the House, Andy Dillon. Then I was a legislative aide for Representative Tim Melton, who was over Pontiac and Auburn Hills. And then all of that together. And I would be remiss if I skip over this, but before getting to college, right before going to college that summer, I had an internship with General Motors that I was able to get through my interactions with the deans at Cooley Law School, who actually came out to Pontiac Northern to talk to us about street law. And one of the deans really took an interest in me and was able to connect me with who at the time, E. Christopher Johnson. He was the North American Counsel for GM, which means he was the top attorney for all North America for General Motors. And so he became my personal mentor. And throughout that entire process, just working, going through college, taking classes, and we're not talking about easy classes, we're talking about some of the most rigorous classes that's offered in the United States. And I got through, and I took the LSAT, and when I took the LSAT, I did not do well. My GPA wasn't the highest because, again, you have to remember, I was working nonstop. I was literally sleeping 3 hours a night, and because I was only sleeping 3 hours a night, it started taking a toll on my health.
It actually took a toll on you, on your health. What was it that took a toll on your health?
So just the stress, the not sleeping, the constant running, the not eating properly, not taking care of myself caused me to start having multiple severe asthma attacks back to back to back to back, where I was in the hospital every other month intubated. When I say intubated, that means put on a respirator. They put me in temporary coma, medical coma, because I was running myself into the ground. But I continued to do that because I thought what's more important, and I continue to believe what's more important, is taking care of my family. And so I just kept going. I took that LSAT, did not do well. My GPA wasn't that high. And the second time I took the LSAT, I took it twice. Cooley Law School actually came back to me and said, hey, you didn't score high. However, for students that have your writing abilities, we have a special program. It's called the PEP program. It's an intensive 1-week program. If you can make it through this program, we'll accept you into the law school. And so I did that program. I graduated from that program at the top of my class, got my acceptance letter from Cooley Law School. Then I started going to law school. So I didn't get into law school the traditional way. You go score high on tests, you got the amazing GPA. Did not do that. I went a different route that I had to go through because of my low LSAT score. And I didn't have a low GPA, but it wasn't the GPA that's normally required for law students. So I started at Cooley Law School, defied all odds at Cooley Law School. So because I was a PEP student, because I didn't score high on the LSAT, I was supposed to fill out my first semester and my second semester. I wasn't supposed to make it through. And I made it through. I actually had over a 3.0 GPA that starting off that first semester. I think I had a 3.17 or 3.2, somewhere around there. I wasn't supposed to have those scores. I excelled in every law school class. I showed them that, I didn't need a high LSAT score to get into law school. I didn't need a high GPA score to perform well in law school. And I did just that. I performed well in law school. Participated in a lot of competitions, criminal law competitions, trial competitions. I like to say that I'm the criminal law, it's the best student mock trial award. I was awarded best litigator throughout the law school. So what that means, I became a really good trial attorney. At the time, I actually met my mentor, and transitioning, I was still in law school, met my mentor, former boss, and the person who I took his place on the bench is Leo Bowman. Met him at a barbershop. Just met him at a barbershop. My barber kept saying, hey man, you got to meet this guy. You got to meet this guy. And I finally did. He invited me out to the court. I started as his intern, then eventually became his clerk. And the rest is history, man. I went from being his clerk to a prosecutor. And so I used everything I learned as being a clerk. He was a criminal civil judge, so I was able to see all the criminal prosecutors come in and practice, all the defense attorneys come in and practice. I was able to see them before I even became an attorney, and I studied them and studied the craft, because law is a craft. It's something that you work on every day, something that you get better on every day. And so I just started to craft and craft and craft, and I got into the prosecutor's office and went up from there. I started off in warrants, went into the juvenile justice division, went from juvenile justice to district court, went from the district court division during general cases such as misdemeanors, speeding tickets, preliminary exam, felonies, going to be a special prosecutor in the narcotics section. And so it was full circle for me because, again, as a kid, all I wanted to do was get all those drug dealers off the streets. So I became a narcotics prosecutor. And I was a special prosecutor working narcotics cases from the bottom up. And I went from being a special prosecutor in narcotics to being a special prosecutor in our trafficking section, handling human trafficking cases, homicide, and narcotics still. And so I became a really good trial attorney. I know I became a good trial attorney based on, I always got feedback. Hey, I spoke to Judge such and such, and they said, wow, you just blew them away in trial. I saw you in trial, and I just want to say, wow, you have to be one of the best trial attorneys I've met. And it gave me confidence, more confidence and more confidence, to the point where I felt like I could walk into any courtroom and that I was a person to be reckoned with in the courtroom, and still believe I'm the same way.
B.RutPro.com. Log on.
Right here.